A warm welcome, everyone. A warm good evening to those who are in India, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever in other parts of the world you may be. So, welcome back to session 2 of Shamanism and what is it all about, and diving deeper into the practice. So, I hope every one of you is doing well, and thank you for sparing your precious time, for investing in yourself, for being here, being open, being curious, being childlike. In shamanism, all work happens in sacred space. So before we begin the conversation, we will open up the sacred space. Why sacred space? Because it is believed that when we open up sacred space, the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Not to take away its importance, but things which feel difficult will become simpler. Things happen through us. We become a medium, we become a channel. So I would request all of you, wherever you are, to just become stationary, become poised, become calm, close your eyes, center and ground yourself. Take a few deep breaths. I will drum and say the prayer to open up sacred space. You could just stay receptive from your heart space. You could pay attention to the words, what they mean. You could also intend to invite your divine beings, your guides, your animal guides, light beings, angels, deities, all the divine beings, in any beings in whom you trust the most, to come and hold space for us in this circle. Visualize yourself in this web, in this wheel, in this circle, sitting together through this medium of Zoom, and just be open and be curious. Allow the beat of the drum to cut the chatter of your mind, to allow you to go deeper and deeper into your body, to be present with all your senses and sensations. To bring forward your childlike divine innocent self, ready to receive, ready to open up to the mystery, to great mystery, to learn, to unlearn. To reconnect and connect back to the source of who you are, to your own divinity, to your own God and Goddess self, to your own soul. Because that's what shamanism is. It helps us back to connect back to our own true self. So with that intention, I call forward the spirit of the East. Spirit of the East, the direction of rising sun, of the element of air. I welcome your presence into the sacred circle today. Bring your divine magic, the words, the flow, the stories, the joy, the inspiration, to connect back to ourselves, to connect back to this ancient way of living and being, so that we can become whole again, so that we can become holistic and joyful again. We welcome your words, we welcome your clarity, we welcome your inspiration into the sacred circle. Carry your message, divine ones. Speak through me as I share your wisdom with this sacred circle. We welcome you, Spirit of the East. Aho. Spirit of the fire, spirit of the south, of the midday sun, of full moon, of action, of passion, of transformation and transmutation, of Kali, of Shakti. I call forward your divine presence into the sacred circle today. Bring forward elements of transformation and transmutation, of passion and action, to reignite the fire of our souls, to reconnect back to the essence of who we really are at the level of a soul. Bring your magic, bring your wisdom, bring your action, bring your fire, bring your passion. We welcome you into the sacred circle today. Aho. Spirit of the West, of that of the setting sun, in the great cycle of life, the season of autumn, the element of water, of flow, of intuition, of our unconscious. We welcome your magic of the womb, of the tomb, of Mama Sea into the sacred circle. As we dive deeper into the sea, we come back with the treasure of who we really are and we reconnect back to our own self. Bring your joy, bring your wisdom, bring your playfulness, bring your flow, bring your adaptability, bring your intuition from the unconscious. Allow it to come to the conscious so that we can really see and connect back to who we truly are. We welcome you into the sacred circle. Aho. Spirit of the North, of that of our ancient ones, the old ones, the wise ones, those who stand behind us and encourage us on this path. Come, dear ones, come, join us in this sacred circle. Speak through me, lead through me. Come, allow your wisdom to shine upon this sacred circle so that we can reconnect back to who we truly are, so that we can connect back to our soul, to our heart, to the old ways and the ancient ways and understand their significance and learn how this can be instrumental in healing our mind, body and spirit. We welcome you, dear ones, the tree people, the rock people, the old ones and the ancient ones, the element of earth. We call upon you. Come, dear ones. We welcome you. Aho. As above, so below. We all have heard this, but what does it really mean? Grandfather Sky, from the galactic womb, from the star people, the ancient ones, the wise ones, the galactic womb, from where we have birth, Grandmother Moon and Father Sun. We call upon your wisdom into the sacred circle. Grandmother Eagle, Grandmother Owl, come into the sacred circle. Help us see the bigger picture of who we really are, beyond the mundane, beyond the ego, beyond the mind, and allow us to connect back from the mind to the heart. Allow us to see the bigger picture of why we have birthed into this life, to reconnect back to our source, to our purpose, to our gifts, and understand why we are here, what role do we play in this grand magnificence of these things, and which way we are unique. We welcome your presence, your grandeur, your expansiveness, your ability to see beyond the unseen into the sacred circle. Welcome, dear grandfather. Welcome into the sacred circle. Aho. The spirit of below, Mother Earth. May we learn to be in gratitude and in real partnership with you. As we have moved ahead, we have moved away from you. We call you our mother, but we have learned to dominate and control nature, control you. We have forgotten to honor you. May we recollect and reconvene this wisdom within our body, within ourselves. But because what is our body if not all the elements of nature and the Mother Earth? May we remember that in this web of life, we are all connected. And as we walk this individual path, we all still connect in this whole web of life. And we are all one. Join us, dear Mother. Allow us to be in service and in gratitude to you and to share these teachings with one and all and plant the seed of coming back to our own self, our true self. We welcome you into the sacred circle. Aho. To the seventh direction, the sacredness of the now, the direction of the heart, the sacred space within our heart, the center of the wheel which connects all of us in this web of life. Without this center, there are no other directions. Without this center, nothing exists. This is the center from where we connect to each one of you in this web of life. And from this center, may these teachings of this road known as the Red Road be shared with each one and all, and may it create ripple effects in the web of life, and may the cause and effect spread to 7 generations forward and 7 generations beyond. We welcome you, dear Spirit of the Now. Please come and join us. Aho. Calling forth the spirit of technology which connects us in these times, the spirit of our home, For everything is spirit, everything is alive, everything is a soul, calling forth the spirit of Mystic Lotus and Shamanic Vision to collaborate for the highest good of all, for these words to be good words, to touch the hearts of many, calling forward the spirit of our homes who shelter us, of our families, of our own mind, body and spirit, thanking the spirit of the drum that has allowed us to share its voice, its sound and wisdom with one and all, and to connect deeper to this web of life, to our own body. We thank you, we honor you, and we welcome you. And with that, we open up the sacred space. Aho. Slowly you may open up your eyes, and if you wish to have a sip of water, please do so. I opened up the 7 directions, and I want to begin with the fact that, as we discussed yesterday, some of you were there, some of you may be new, so just a little revision, that shamanism is an ancient practice. I call it the indigenous way of being. By being indigenous doesn't mean going back to the village life, but going back to the roots and to the source of where life began and why it was important. We discussed that yesterday. So shamanism, coming back to the revision, is an old and an ancient way of being. In some cultures, it goes back 10,000 years, and in some cultures, it goes back 100,000 years. I'm using the word some cultures. What does it mean? It means that shamanism is not an alien practice coming from a foreign land. It exists in cultures around the world. It may not be known by the name of shamanism, but it is the same practice. Scientists and anthropologists have done their research, and they have studied different ancient societies across the world, and they have found that if they remove the cultural thumbprint, the ritualistic aspect, the core essence remains the same. Shamanism is not a religion or a cult, but it is very deeply embedded in all the religions of the world. Like, for example, Hinduism. I called upon the sacred space right now. I called upon all elements. Do all cultures work with elements? Yes. In Hinduism, when we do Havan, we call in 10 directions. Over here, I called in the 7 directions. That's the only difference. So cultural thumbprint is different. A sense is the same. So what is shamanism and why we should get back to learning it? Why should we go back to the source? We discussed a bit of it yesterday, but I'll revise a little bit. It is a way of life. It is a body of knowledge which includes a lot of healing tools and practices. It is how the indigenous people lived in alignment with nature, in alignment with cycles of nature, in alignment with their soul, with their heart, by connection to all of life as their guide. They would connect to the plants, they would connect to the mineral kingdom, they would connect to the planets, they would connect to their soul, they would connect to these higher dimensions so that they could bring back learning, wisdom, healing and messages for their tribe. And the same we will do in a contemporary society. We will learn tools and techniques which enable us to connect to all these aspects, all of life as alive, so that we can get messages, so that we can learn things, so that we can heal. And last but not the least, we can reconnect and go back to our own source, our own soul, and understand who we truly are, why are we here, and why it is important to connect back to the soul. All these modern day perils that we see, including the pandemic, different relationship problems that you may have, different money related issues, different health related issues. The philosophy behind shamanic work goes that the more we have moved away from who we truly are, from Mother Nature and hence our own true nature and hence our own unique essence, our own soul, we have invited complexity in our life, we have invited illness in our life. So the body of work contains tools, techniques, processes, apart from it being a way of life, to understand how can we go back and reconnect. What are the ways we can reconnect? And what happens if this disconnection happens? Where do we lose our power? How trauma occurs? What is the way to heal that trauma? What keeps us away from our soul? We all know that we have a purpose. We've come here with a unique signature thumbprint. We all have gifts and lessons. But are we living a life driven by our true nature, or are we living a life as a society expects us to live? Are we living a life by being true to ourselves? And so the practices bring us back to who we really are, to connect back to our soul, to connect back to our heart, to connect back to our body, and to understand that deep wisdom resides in our bones. Deep wisdom resides in ourselves. These are the ways which we already know but we have forgotten. And hence, shamanism is a path of remembering and remembering, reconnecting back to the source, back to the old times, back to our roots. Learning shamanism is going back to the root, which is more important now than ever before. So that is a little a sense about shamanic way of being. The shamans in the ancient times had the ability to journey into three worlds. All cultures talk about three worlds, including Hinduism. Even the Trishul of Shiva represents the three worlds. The world where we are, the world above, and the world below. What do these words signify? The word, they have a unique meaning. So through these practices, we learn to connect back to these worlds, to bring back our power, to understand what is our true power. And are we alone in this grand scheme of things? Okay, somebody thought universe should exist and they threw us here and we are left alone to fight with this trauma, to fight with these problems. Is that so? No. That's wherein the teachings of shamanism come in, wherein they say the universe is co-creating for you, not just with you, but co-creating with you. So we learn practices which help us come in partnership with spirit, partnership with our allies, partnership with all of life that is constantly trying to speak to us, constantly trying to send us messages. But our senses are so distracted, our senses are so numb that we can't pay attention. Our mind is so active, our body is so disconnected that we cannot pay attention to the whispers of the soul, to the whispers of the universe. And then when we keep ignoring these whispers which come to us through the soul, through our higher beings, through our gut feeling, through our body, through our senses, we keep ignoring through our dreams, and we keep ignoring, and these gentle nudges from the universe then become a stick approach, wherein an illness strikes, a near-death experience comes, or at the global level something like the pandemic happens, or any other trauma which happens, like a breakdown of career, losing of a job. Then we are forced to find answers. What did I do wrong? What happened? Why? I did everything right. But what happened? Why did I lose my relationship? Why did my near and dear one die? Why am I so alone? Why things are not working out? Why do I have so many challenges? And then our spiritual quest starts. So the practices of shamanism take us back to connecting to this source from where the problem originates, because of the disconnection to the soul. So what is the scope of shamanic work? All of it that I'm talking about. It gives us tools and practices to journey into these alternative realities, to connect to all of life as our guide. The fundamental principle of shamanism is everything is alive, everything is a message, and everything is connected, and everything is talking to us. The aboriginals of Australia say the land is alive, the land is weaving a story. But how do I understand what that story is? What is the universe trying to tell me? What are those signs, symbols, and synchronicities? How do we decode these messages? How can I become empowered myself rather than having to running to a doctor, to another person, hey, help me, hey, give me a message. We teach those principles and techniques and tools where we learn and become equipped to find answers for our own self and for our near and dear ones. Day-to-day problems, bigger problems, lifelong problems, spiritual problems. So that's the crux of shamanism. In the ancient times, the shaman was an agent of evolution. He would be a bridge between the tribe and these higher dimensions, the realm of ancestors, the realm of our dreams, the shamanic realms, the higher dimensions. In shamanic terms, we call this non-ordinary reality or alternative realities. They would journey to these alternative realities, meet the helping spirits, meet the ancestors, meet the soul of the person, and ask, this tribe, this person is going through X and X problem. What can be done? They would come back with learning. They would come back with wisdom. They would come back with guidance, and they would come back with healing. So the body of shamanism has learning, has wisdom, has healing, has tools to connect back to our true essence in any aspect of our life. And when we connect back to our essence, when we reconnect, when we establish that connection, we become whole, we become complete. When we are whole and complete, we are in alignment of who we are. When we are in alignment with who we are in rhythm and harmony of life. Then life is co-creating. Then life is not fighting us. Then everything is smooth and effortless. That's the principle of the divine feminine, which is effortlessness. We've been fed through patriarchal conditioning that we are meant to struggle to succeed. We use the word flow, but what is that flow? Flow is nothing but alignment and connection to who we truly are. When we are connected, there is no resistance. When there is no resistance, there is alignment, there is harmony, there is synchronicity, there is energy. Everything happens for us. So the shamans played that role, that bridge for their community. They had the capacity to heal the souls, travel to dream worlds, heal the departed ones, heal the land, communicate and connect to all of life, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, crystal kingdom, etc., etc., stars, astronomy, astrology, everything has evolved from that shamanic way of being. So they had the capacity to heal, to transform, to be the wisdom keeper of the tribe, to help people understand what is happening in their life and why it is happening and how they can resolve that problem. So that's essentially the shamanic way of being. I kept on using the words senses. That if our senses are numbed, mind is distracted, we are not in our body fully, how can we connect to all of life? Let alone connection to ourselves. So the practice is build our muscle to activate our senses, to connect to the body, to connect back to the soul. And as a result of which, connect back to the universe that is talking to us all the time. I have a question though. When I'm talking about activating my senses, why is that important? Because certain spiritual practices teach us numb the senses, don't activate the senses, don't fall into the senses. What role does activation of senses play? Anybody? Amrish, are they allowed to unmute and share?
I think in my view, can you hear me, Neelam ji?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think if senses are active, then we can, our spiritual practices, we can do much better. Otherwise,
Correct.
we will become dull and down, like,
Correct. Our spiritual abilities enhance, our psychic senses enhance. It could be claircognizance,
Exactly.
clairvoyance, etc., etc. They get heightened. So one of the byproduct or the side product, although it is main for many people, but one of the byproduct of these practices that our observation becomes very sharp. You would have gone to the same place and been like that. But when you learn shamanism, you go back to the same place and you will connect much more deeper to that place. You will be more aware. Your senses will be sharpened. And obviously, when our senses are sharpened, when our heart is open, when our body is tuned in, our soul is alive. And then when the soul is alive and is speaking to us in the form of divine guidance or whatever messages, etc., we are able to listen, tune in and receive. Most of us have a receiving block because we've been hurt, we've gone through trauma, this and that has happened, so we guard ourselves. In guarding ourselves, we unconsciously become numb. We have had pain, so we disconnect from the body. The great shamans always said, the biggest journey that we can have is from the mind to the heart. But we guard our heart, so how can we receive? Heart is not just about receiving love. It is about receiving abundance, receiving everything basically. So when our heart is open, when we are in the body fully, when our senses are heightened and awakened, we are fully tuned in, we are fully connected to the universe, to Mother Nature, to our true nature. That is why I call it the great return. Shamanism is a great return. It's a retrieval, it's a remembrance to who we truly are. And what and where do we truly belong to? Our own self. It's a journey of great discovery and great remembering. So in nutshell, this was the revision of what we did yesterday. Yes, Malti, you had a question?
Yeah, no, not a question actually. I just wanted to ask.
I need to hear you loudly.
Can you hear me now?
Little better. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to just make a point here. Is it same like opening up the subconscious?
Subconscious is a part of the mind. I'm talking about all aspects of the universe, not just the subconscious. Our soul, the entire universe. We were talking yesterday, and this is the principle that we will embark upon today as a demo, that everything is alive. This drum is alive and has a consciousness. This pen is alive and has a consciousness. The utensils that we wash in the kitchen are alive and have our spirit. So everything is alive, everything is soul, and everything is spirit. And everything is speaking to us all the time because everything is connected to everything else. We are not able to fathom it with our logical mind. But we can speak to the plants, we can speak to my curtain, we can speak to these lights, we can speak to this drum, I can speak to this pen and have messages regarding anything in my life. So actually that's the demo that we will do, and thank you for asking that question. It's not just subconscious, it is all of our unconscious, superconscious, our soul, higher dimensions, everything opens up when I'm talking about these practices. Subconscious would be a tiny part of the practice. But the fundamental difference is our reconnection back to the soul. And I was sharing yesterday that when we disconnect from the soul, what it represents, what its needs, what its desires are, what its lessons and gifts are, what its purpose is, we invite trauma into our life. We lose our power. When we lose our power, we feel depleted, we feel fatigued. When we lose our power, we lose a portion of ourself. When we lose a portion of ourself, we are not operating out of 100% capacity. That's what trauma does to us. I'll give you an example. Let's take a car. A car is like the body. Okay? The thing which runs the car is the fuel, is the gas, is the petrol. And that is equivalent to our soul. Let's say. And we are the body. Now something happens and there is a leakage. And the petrol leaks up. Is the car operating up to 100% capacity? No. That's what our soul journey is. When we lose our power, we lose our essence, we lose our soul aspects as well because of not being in connection to our power. What happens to a river which is flowing? The power of a river is to be a river and to flow and to help humanity. What happens if a river is not being its true nature of being a river? What will happen? What will happen? Any wild guess? What happens to a river which is not flowing, not being its true essence, its true self, being a river? What happens? Yes, Bharti.
It will become stagnant. Like, it will become a dirty smell will come. Like, it will not progress basically.
Correct. And slowly what will happen to that river? It will dry off. It will die off. Correct.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Correct. That's what happens to our power, to our essence, to our soul. If we don't use what the soul energy is, if we don't use what our intrinsic power and gifts are, if we don't know who we are, we become dead. Precisely why we have so many mental illnesses in the world. We have depression, we have anxiety, we have bipolar, we have schizophrenia, which is lifetimes of not listening to the soul. The theory goes that a shaman will float in the information which is coming from the other realms and dive into it. For schizophrenia, that gift has been unlived for so many generations that in this lifetime it becomes a drowning point of information. So the schizophrenic person in the ancient societies would be taken over by a shaman under their wing to help them remember and reconnect back to their power, because it is nothing but neglect of their power, their soul, lifetime upon lifetime. So that's what happens to all of us. We fall ill, we take a pill and it's done. But we never question why this ache and pain, why these many relationship problems, why so many illnesses in my life, why my career is not doing well. Maybe my soul is trying to tell me, you lost your job, but it is not a problem, it is a gift. Universe wants to divert your attention here. Oprah Winfrey says a very beautiful statement. She's saying any rejection is not a rejection, but it is a redirection. This is how universe is co-creating with us. It is constantly giving us these signs, symbols and synchronicities. Hello, knock knock. Suno, are you listening? Knock knock. And if we don't, then obviously we have a challenge, we have a problem. So we can always resolve things. We have so much unlived trauma that we don't have the capacity to listen to our souls. So the tools and practices will go into that, understanding what is blocking my soul journey. Where have I lost my power? Where have I lost my soul because of my trauma? How can I heal that? How can I help someone else to heal this, to bridge this? So the practices and the teachings beautifully merge with your existing practice, whichever practice you have. They merge with psychotherapy. One of the techniques that we do, we taught to teachers in a school. And there were 30 teachers. And these 30 teachers in turn use these practices with their students. And they are still using it with their students. Psychotherapists use it with their clients. So these teachings are very fluid and flexible. You can follow them as a body of work as is, or you can easily merge and integrate these teachings into your existing practice of work. I have followed these practices into my corporate life when I was working in the corporate world. So yeah, this is the magnanimity of the teachings and the importance of the teachings and going back to who we truly are and connecting back to ourselves. Any questions before I move on to the demo?
There's a question by Nancy.
Yeah.
The question is, aren't we designed to have a full loving heart and an empty mind, a heart full of love and a mind full of clarity?
Designed, yes. But free will comes in the way, cultural conditioning comes in the way, our upbringing comes in the way, and then the flow of the river has to go here, but it starts going here. Oh, my colleague is making $100,000, but I am only making 5,000, so I need to go build a career. But the soul is screaming for creative expression, which may not give money so much, or as much as what the society desires us to make. The definition of success, we run after that. It's a very good point. As children, as toddlers, we are really aligned, actually aligned. But as we grow up, the pressure to make a living, the struggles of life, the cultural conditioning puts us into a pigeonhole. You're born, you grow, you study, you do a job or a business to earn money, you marry, you have children, and you die. And then the cycle repeats again. So we are born as whole creatures, but as we go along and things hit, universe never interferes with free will. And these aspects which I mentioned, the cultural conditioning, etc., come in the way. And then we lose our true self. And we lose who we are. I actually received a very beautiful message and I would love to read that. Because it really ties into what I'm saying. The individual ceases to be himself. He adopts entirely the kind of personality offered to him by cultural patterns. And he therefore becomes exactly as all others are and as they expect him to be. The person who gives up his individual self and becomes an automation, identical with millions of other automations around him, so that he doesn't feel alone, so that he doesn't feel isolated, so that he doesn't have to worry about too many things and think deeply. So he need not feel alone or anxious anymore. But the price he pays is high. It is the loss of his self. I will be happy to post this on the Telegram group, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. The loss of the self over generations, over lifetimes, over this lifetime, to the true journey of connection back to who we are, through connection to nature, through connection to these practices, through connection to cycles, through connection to all of life, and understanding that the universe is partnering with me and for me. Any other question?
Nice. Anvesha had a question. I'm sending her a request to unmute herself.
Sure.
If she'd like to ask. Hi, Anvesha.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Anvesha. Can we have you on video?
Actually, I'm traveling, so won't be able to switch on the video.
Okay.
I just have one query. I'm so sorry if I am asking something weird,
No
because
problem.
I don't know anything about this shamanic. So whatever I have heard from others is like is it a black magic or what? I wanted to understand.
Thank you for asking. No, it is not a cult. It is not black magic. It is not working with earthbound spirits, or it is not dabbling into any occult.
Okay.
I highly encourage you to listen to yesterday's recording, which has been posted on the group. We've covered many of the fundamental questions of what is shamanism, and if you have been present throughout the call today, I have shared brief details about what is shamanism. So no, to answer your question, no, it is not about black magic, but there are processes which teach us how to clear and remove undesirable energy which does not belong to us. So one of the healing processes does involve that, but that's not the only practice.
Understood.
So it's not
Thank
about
you.
black magic.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank
In shamanism, we are very high on ethics, Anvesha.
Okay.
I was giving an example yesterday that if, say, a wife comes to me and says, I'm not getting along with my husband, can you find out what is going on? I will find out from her perspective. What does she need to do to bring harmony to the relationship? I will not touch upon the husband's energy field because I do not have the permission.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now, when we will do an activity, I will strictly give the disclaimer that pick up a question which belongs only to you, not to your family, not to your husband, mother, father, even if they are struggling. Keep the question strictly to yourself because you do not have their permission. So permission and ethics are huge. We do not violate and dabble into anybody else's energy. So black magic is out of question. No.
Okay. So I'll go through the videos, ma'am, and then in
Yeah.
case of any query, I'll get
I
back.
highly encourage you to go through the videos
Sure.
and even today's recording from the beginning because
Sure,
I have shared the scope of the practice as well.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anvesha. Any other question?
There's a question by, we will unmute Sanjeevni in a minute.
Yeah.
There is a question by NJG on the Telegram group. Ma'am, how can we tune ourselves to nature by overcoming our rational attitude?
So we will do one of the activity now. The best part of the practical aspect of shamanism is drumming plays a huge role. So in the workshop, when we do a shamanic journey, when I say shamanic journey, it means like how the shamans used to travel to those alternative dimensions and higher dimensions. We use the drum. The power of the drum is that it cuts the chatter of the mind. It allows us to be a conduit. It allows us to be what we in shamanism call a hollow bone. So when I'm hollow, anything is ready to flow in me, through me, for me. So that is one. For day-to-day practice, sound, music, dance, breath work, they help immensely to shut the chatter of the mind. Osho used to say, dance such that the dance remains, the dancer disappears. So the ego mind is shattered through sound, through chanting any kind of sound. And that's where we use the drums. And that's why also the sacred space. Because we are saying, hey, I am doing the work, I'm surrendering my ego. You please come in. Let the higher powers come in. So through opening up the sacred space, through sound, through drumming, through chanting, through dance, through breath. These are few tools which we encourage using to shut the chatter of the rational mind and allow the heart and the soul to come in. And of course, as you practice more, you kind of get validations, and then your practice builds up. It is like going to a gym. First, it'll ache and you will question, what am I doing? My hand is hurting, my leg is hurting. But then you get tuned in and you tune up. That's how it is. That's how we build our skills.
Nice. Let's get Sanjeevni on.
Yeah.
Let's see what question Sanjeevni has. Sorry. Sanjeevni, I've sent you a request to unmute yourself. I'm going to request Suparna and Sachin to post their question on the Telegram group in the meanwhile. Hi, Sanjeevni.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can, Sanjeevni.
Yes. Ma'am, what is the purpose of life? Our life purpose? Why we are born? Is my
Each person is unique, Sanjeevni, and it will be different for different people. Some may be here to experience unconditional love, that may be their purpose. Some may be here for forgiveness, some may be here for learning certain lessons, some may be here to teach, like me. So it is different for different people, and the practices that we teach in the workshop will help you deepen and into that and understand that more, much more in depth.
Ma'am, these materialistic studies, is that important to study?
I'm sorry?
See, we come to this world, then our mother, father put us to school, send us to school.
Right.
We are learning that
Correct.
school education.
Right.
And we are doing here and there something, and we are getting few money and we are surviving. Is that necessary to get that education, or we should enter in this spirituality?
I will not call it spiritual. I will say that if we have a society and an education system which promotes soul-based life and soul-based path and soul-based education, then we will have a much more holistic society and much more healthy society to live in. So I would love to open up a school where children can, from their childhood, connect to their true essence.
Yes,
to their own true power.
That's what my question was, because when we see children going to school and coming back from school, and I don't think they are learning much more. They are not learning what they should learn.
मतलब wherein you as a parent
नहीं सिखाया जाता कि भाई प्यार करना है एक दूसरे से, स्टे, मतलब जो सीखना चाहिए वो नहीं सीख रहे. I feel that.
We are not even taught to love ourselves, let alone love others. We are not even taught who we are, who are you, who am I. So that's wherein our role as parents come in. I mean, we don't have the liberty of that education system of those indigenous societies. But it is the responsibility of us as each individual to learn this, to unlearn our old conditioning, to become who we truly are. I don't even call this learning. I call this, let me complete, Sanjeevni. I call this a process of unbecoming, to reclaiming and connecting to who you really are. So you as parents can play that role and teach your child. Just I was giving an example of an 8-year-old who came to the workshop, who is now following his purpose, helping his mother, helping him heal himself through these methods. I gave an example yesterday, so please go back and listen. But yeah, that's what it is. Please continue. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah. When I see all this situation outside, I really feel very bad. Always I'm going out and seeing all these things and I feel very bad. I teach people, send unconditional love, stay with each other happily. Nobody is happy in this world. I feel very bad after seeing their faces like. So I tell everybody, life is full of enjoyment, full of happiness. Be happy always. And they are surprised how you can stay happy without anything.
That's wherein role of people like you and me comes into play, Sanjeevni. We are here to
Yeah.
plant a seed. We are not here to teach. We are here to plant a seed. And that
Yeah.
seed will flower in this lifetime or next lifetime or next lifetime. We don't know. But we all
Yes.
have to do our role. We can either sit and
Yes.
complain or we can do our bit. We can
Yes.
ourselves begin this journey. You know, when there are wars and one country is attacking another country, or when there is a pandemic, when there is a calamity, we are all complaining.
Yes.
But can we come back to ourselves and say,
Yeah.
what can I do to contribute
Yeah.
to this? And I have
Yes.
only control over myself. I don't have
Yes.
control over Sanjeevni changing or Amita changing or Sachin changing or Amrish changing. I don't have control over that. I have control over me. So can I
Yeah.
take charge of my life? And can I
Yes.
listen to my inner calling?
Yes.
And if that is shamanism, can I learn that so that I can plant that seed for others? I can show
Yes.
this way of life for others.
Yes.
I can bring back that connection which has gone missing from the society. It could be love,
Yes.
it could be soul, it could be heart, it could be joy, it could be connection to all of life or to my soul. So the first step is coming back to a connection of myself. Why is my
Yes.
soul born? If I'm strongly feeling a pull to these aspects, am I meant to contribute in these aspects? And what can I do? Of course,
Yes.
if I look at the global problem, I feel like nothing. What is Neelam going to do in this whole grand scheme of things? But no, Neelam still got to keep on talking, still got to keep on sharing, still keep on creating awareness. Right now, I'm planting the seed of this way of life and the powerful teachings of this method and the healing modality to 142 people. It's a huge thing. These 142 people will tomorrow go and talk to another 142 people. There is something like this also which exists. Kya hai? Let us see. That's how the consciousness changes. That's how evolution happens. So we are all are change makers. One of the important aspects of shamanism is to understand our true soul expression.
Yes.
What are we here to express for ourselves? And what are we here to contribute for others? And do that. And expression for self, connection back to self, and then sharing that gift with others. That together becomes our purpose. That together becomes our mission statement. That together becomes our vision. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you for
ma'am.
asking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Neelam. We've got a couple of questions on the group. I'm going to read out one of them, which is by Anju. Ma'am, how can it help someone who has no social relationship, unable to start his own money?
Unable to start his own money.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Or unable to make any money, is it?
I'm guessing that's what she means. How can it help someone who has no social relationship? Let's kind of address that if we can.
So, coming back to two things, which even Dr. Yulin, the huge proponent of Ho'oponopono, said. How can I take charge of my life? What is within me that has brought this to my doorstep? So I cannot help someone who cannot help his or her own self. He or she first has to be willing. Only then we can see where is that depression or that state of no connection to the world coming from. Why has that person become like that? But that person has to show interest first. But yes, if that person gives permission, we cannot act anything beyond free will. But if that person's free will is engaged and the permission is there, we can definitely connect to his or her helping spirits, to his soul, and find out what is going on. Why is the person not able to make money? Where has he or she gone disconnected from his own self? What is bringing in this lack of social connection or depression or anxiety or whatever the situation may be? And what is going on? And what needs to be done to address that, to heal that, to resolve that? And then the person has to be actively engaged in implementing those suggestions. 50% is the role of shamanic practitioner, of guidance, of healing, of messages. The integration of the healing is always the responsibility of the seeker, of the recipient. So the more open he is, the more we will be able to help him. But yes, help is possible.
Nice. Thank you for that. I'm going to send a request to Suparna to unmute herself. She's posted a question on the group, but we'll get her on to see if she wants to come in and ask her.
Sure.
Hi, Suparna.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Suparna.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, just the question just clicked, this is something very new to me. This is for the first time I'm attending your session. So it is like, it's kind of a curiosity to know much, much more, because there are so many things nowadays to know about, like Reiki. Reiki is also a self-healing technique, right?
Correct.
And shamanism is quite maybe different from Reiki.
Correct.
Okay. So I just wanted to know about, like, my mother, she was a good spirit and she had died on 2018. So is this shamanism technique, is there any technique to, talk direct to the spirit, like, because often I see her in my dreams.
We can, so the fundamentals workshop teaches you certain basic processes, which will give you an opportunity to travel to those realms where our ancestors are and to connect to the higher soul of all the beings in a safer way. So yes, there is a possibility of doing that.
Okay, that's good now, because often I see her in her dreams, but in a very good way, like she is dressed in a very good sari and all, and in her younger days, not like that old age. So I'm talking to her. She is also communicating with me like a family. We are all sitting, like my brother is there. I'm myself and my brother. We two are there.
How
So
beautiful
we are
to
all
know that you
sitting
are
in
so
a home.
receptive to her dreams and she's coming to meet you in your dreams.
Yeah, that's what. And my brother is always, I am to say, quite often I see her in a dreams. My brother is always watching her in, watching her in his dreams. And he was only telling me that it was so fascinating. She is coming every day in my dreams. So I tell him, so what is bothering you? If she is coming, it is good, na? In a very good way. If she is coming,
there
it's
are
very good.
processes that we teach where we can go back to that dream.
Yeah.
We can journey to those, travel to those alternative realities. We can connect to these souls and find out, why are they appearing in my dreams? Do they have a message for us? Do they need anything? What are they trying to tell us? We could definitely dig deeper into these questions through the processes that we teach.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Since it's a short time, that's what I wanted to clear it out. Ma'am, one more thing I'll tell you what. My mother actually had an accident and that's why she died, That was quite very fatal accident. Like, so what happened? Yeah, so she had an operation and then she expired after 6 months because she was not able to carry, because she was old age. 72 years is not a very young age. So that's why what happened, she went in a traumatic situation. The first thing is that, and after that she could not carry on long. Anyways, so what happened is that what I was saying, what I was saying, I just forgot. So what I was saying is that to recollect. Sorry, ma'am, I forgot what I wanted to ask.
Are you asking about her healing?
No, not about a healing. That is okay, over. She could not take it because she was in a traumatic situation. And the thing is that it is all about the immunity, how much you can hold. That's the thing.
What's your question, Suparna?
Yeah, that's what I forgot what I wanted to ask once, I'll try to recollect and tell you.
And sorry for the loss, Suparna.
You please, so sorry. You can carry on with some other person. Yeah, sure. I'll recollect. Forgot.
Thank you, Suparna. We'll come back to you. Aparna has a question. Aparna was here earlier. I'm going to check if she can get on the call. Aparna, we've sent you a request to unmute yourself. Would you like to come in and share?
Yeah. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I am a COVID-19 survivor. Last year, I was in the hospital for 55 days and I was on NIV as well. For quite some time, I fought back and came back home. But I lost my husband, because he was also going through, the same kind of a situation. But I don't know, he gave up. So the lot of trauma is there in the family. And as I've already written that, my lungs are still in the process of healing, So I'm still not able to breathe properly. My oxygen is not 100% still, I'm fighting. But I just wanted to find out, I'm actually looking for some way to heal myself and to heal the emotional trauma also, which my family, went through, because my daughter cremated my husband and she saw him dying actually. So it's kind of, a trauma which she's also going through, and she's a diabetic child, just 22 years, and her sugar is also the sugar levels are running very high since last year. So just wanted to find out, can both of us heal ourselves, emotionally and physically through any of these
The
practices?
answer is
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And I'm so sorry for your loss, Aparna. And I
Yeah.
honor and acknowledge your vulnerability for sharing on this public forum. And I want to say that I see you and I honor you. The healing through grief is a journey by itself. My own husband expired last year, and he was a co-founder of Shamanic Vision, and I'm still myself going through that grief. So grief, I would so highly encourage you to not suppress your emotions, but allow the process of grieving. What our lungs often process is suppressed grief. So I would encourage you to allow your emotional outbursts and encourage your daughter to do so as well. Rest, as there is no standard answer. We will have to do a specific diagnostics for you to understand what your soul is seeking, what your daughter's soul is seeking. Is there a soul loss after the trauma has happened? And what are the steps that you could take, or what is the healing methodology that can be shared within the shamanic realm for healing your lungs and for your daughter's diabetes? We definitely need to connect to your soul. We definitely need to connect to your helping spirits and ask these questions, because each person is unique and each support that comes in is very specific to that person, because each soul is different. However, generally, I would recommend that you continue with your grieving process, and we are going to do a small activity just now. And in that, you could ask for a message for healing of your lungs. You can keep that as your intention. We spoke about in the beginning of the call that everything is alive and everything is a messenger. So we will do process connecting to all aspects of our life, asking them for a message. So stay on the call and see if the universe, stay open and see if the universe gives you a specific message. I would definitely encourage you to check for solas and see if that needs to come back. A part of our soul obviously goes away. So those of you who don't know, whenever we have any trauma or any incident which is traumatic for the psyche, a portion of our soul leaves the body because it is too painful to be in the body. And when our soul goes away, we hit depression and suicidal tendencies and a lot of other illnesses. So, and this can happen upon the death of our loved ones. So that these all processes are a part of the detailed teachings which follow. But for now, you could ask for a message as to what can help you heal your lungs and how can you process your trauma in a little smoother way. I hope that answers your question, and I'm once again so sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your encouraging words. And thank you all for your presence here. So I'll definitely seek that, throughout the session. And, just wanted to find out, like, whether this practice gives you an immediate result, or it's a matter of months, days, as it is in the other practices.
So,
thank you.
Again, it depends on how fast, like any other healing practice, you allow the integration and how open and receptive you are. I have seen people who are very receptive and open and allowing immediate results as well. Obviously, we all need to remember that healing is not a 2-minute Maggie process. Healing is not an event, one-time event that you do and it goes away. Sometimes healing happens in layers. One layer is gone and another layer comes up and another layer comes up. But yes, I've seen many deeper issues of my own life being healed and of many of my clients being healed. So it depends what your soul is going through, what your soul journey is all about, how much you integrate the healing and put into practice the suggestions that are given, and how much your body and soul take the time to heal. And please be patient with yourself, because grief is a journey. And I would strongly, strongly recommend not to rush through the grief, because if the grief is suppressed, that itself brings up a lot of illness. For your lungs, we can definitely ask, and you can ask right now through your question, what message does your soul have for you for healing of your lungs, or your guides have for you for the healing of your lungs? And we can get into that later.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Aparna.
Thank you, Aparna. Thanks, Neelam. Neelam, there are a few more questions. Would you like to get into those questions, or do you want to go through the activity right now?
I think we should go to the demo and then questions maybe I can answer on the Telegram group. Or we have time, then we can take it up.
Sure, let's go through the activity and then we'll see.
Yeah, it's right. We can go through the activity. So first, Coming back to the fundamentals, everything is alive, everything is energy, everything is talking to us, everything is giving us a message. So we will learn a small technique how to tune into the signs, symbols and synchronicities of the universe. And how we will take 2 or 3 demos depending on what time permits, how to decode those metaphors. First disclaimer, if you are driving somewhere, do not do this activity. Make sure you are in a little bit of a quieter space and not disturbed by anyone. 2, make sure this question is only about yourself, or we can have a general question for oneself. Today is Janmashtami, some people are celebrating it tomorrow. What does Krishna have to tell to me about my soul right now? If you are not a believer in Krishna, pick up any guide that you believe in. Pick up Shiva, pick up Kali, pick up Jesus, pick up Isis, any god, goddesses that you believe in. What message do they have for me right now, for my soul right now? Since shamanism looks at everything from the perspective of the soul. Everything is a soul, we ourselves are also a soul. And since the entire practice is coming back and reconnection to that soul, let's ask a question. What does the universe, or what do my guides, or what does my soul want me to know right now? What does Krishna want my soul to know right now? What does Kali? Anything. Make your intention and make sure it is only about yourself. Typically, we don't ask yes or no questions. Should I marry X? We don't answer those questions because yes and no is a matter of free will. And universe does not interfere with free will. But there is a way to ask these questions. So we could reframe. How will my life be if I married X? How will my life be if I take up this project? How will my life be if I quit this job? And so on and so forth. So there is a way to reframe these kind of questions. Secondly, there is no timing in the spirit realm. We live in a linear time, but the universal time is circular. If any of you have seen the movie Interstellar, you will understand what I'm talking about. The last scene, the beginning is the now, is the end, and it is all circular. So that is why there is no concept of time and space in the spirit realm. So we do not ask timing related questions. Again, we can reframe those questions and ask, what do I need to do to get married? What are the blocks that I need to heal to get married? So yes, no questions can also be reframed. And timing, what do I need to do to manifest abundance, to manifest money, to heal this illness? So we can reframe that question. Because timing is a concept in our linear mind. That is also one of the aspects of Aparna, that some may heal very quickly and some may take time. So it's very difficult to give you the time. And it's always important to remember, healing is a process. It's not a pill that you take and it goes away. Sometimes issues are very, very deep. Sometimes they are very simple. Sometimes just awareness. Guys will say, Acha, your belief system was bad. That's why this project was getting stuck. Okay, I changed my belief system, tuck. Healing happens. Sometimes guys will say, you have lost power because you kept failing again and again and again. So, okay, we ask, what is to be done to retrieve that power? And then the process is done, and then the career changes, abundance changes. It is like that. I myself have experienced those magical changes. Some processes are continuing because there are deeper lessons. There are generational traumas, there are past life traumas. So they take time to heal. So that's what we need to remember. Healing is a process, not an event. No yes, no questions. No third party questions. Questions only about yourself. And no timing questions. So for now, however, we are limiting the intention to asking, what message does Krishna or XYZ deity, God, goddess, animal, have for my soul right now? The process I will now explain. You will repeat the intention 3 times. 3 is the magic number in shamanism. So you will repeat this intention 3 times, as clearly, as precisely, as strongly, as assertively as possible, from your heart space, allowing your mind, body, senses to open up to what the universe is telling you. Just give me a second. we typically use a rattle. If you do not have a rattle, use your claps. If you have a bell, use a bell. If you have keys, use a key, or just use your finger. So what you will do is, I'll guide you through the process. I'm just explaining just now. Just listen. You will give the intention. You will pray to your guides, to animal guides, to divinity, to your soul, to send you the most clear message, the message in a very simple, clear, precise manner about what your soul needs to know right now to reconnect back to your true essence, to reconnect back to your true self, to your true nature. We will repeat this intention 3 times. We will play the rattle or the key or the bell or the clap. We will get up from our space with eyes half open and closed, and we will move around in our space. Don't close your eyes completely. Eyes half open, half closed. Play the bell, play the clap, use the keychain or any sound that you have close to your ears. Keep walking, keep moving around, so that make sure you keep your half eyes open so that you don't bang into walls or into objects. Pay attention to your body while reciting your intention deep into your heart. In order to reconnect back to my soul, what message does the universe have for me, or Krishna have for me, or Kali have for me? What does the universe want me to know regarding my soul connection right now, regarding reconnecting to my soul right now? And then after you move for a few minutes, you will feel the nudge in your body, in your gut to pause. Listen to that inner voice. Pay attention to that inner voice. When you pause, in whichever direction you are, point that finger like this. And then open your eyes fully to whichever object your finger is pointing out will be the answer for your question. It is okay if you do not understand the meaning of it. We will do 2 or 3 demos to decode these metaphors. And if you understand the relevance and the significance, perfect. You are completely aligned. We don't need decoding. So that's how the process will run. Any questions about the process? Suparna, I'll come back to your question later on, so you can put your hand down. Yes, Yachna, what is your question?
So hi, I didn't get the pointing part, the last part of this process. Like, how do we do it? Our hand will go in that direction where whatever.
Correct. So let's say I am rattling and I'm giving this intention. Da 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 da. I'm moving around in the house.
Okay.
What does my soul want me to know right now?
Okay.
So that I can connect back to it fully. What is the message from Krishna regarding my soul right now? So that I can connect back to myself fully, to my true nature. And suppose I feel the urge to sit down on the sofa. And I open my eyes and I point my finger.
Okay.
Lord, behold, I am pointing to Krishna and Lakshmi with Sheshnag in the background. So what is the message? Then, so Krishna and Sheshnag and Lakshmi will be the answer to my question.
Okay, okay.
And then we will learn how to decode those metaphors.
So I need to
understand what those metaphors mean. It's fine. If not, then we'll take 2-3 demos to understand. Yeah.
So I need to move around in the room itself or the entire house or whatever makes
me whichever calls you out in the room, hall, whatever.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
Priyanka's asking, I'm in a public place surrounded by people. Can I do this activity?
I would rather suggest avoid. You can do this at home when you go back home. Any other question? Yes, Aparna, do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when I pointed out my finger towards the air purifier, which is kept in my.
Hold on. We are not doing the process yet. We are just explaining the process.
Yeah. So I mean, what does that mean? Actually, in case something.
So
like this
that
happens.
is what I'm saying. We are just doing the process right now and coming back with the sign, symbol, and synchronicity with the universe is telling us, and we will decode the metaphor later. So just hold your horses right now. We are just sharing the process. We will do the process together I will keep drumming and rattling in the background. Once all of you are back, then we'll take not more than 5 to 7 minutes for this exercise. So any questions about the process, not about your metaphor, about the process? Bharati, is your question about the process?
Amrita is asking, what is the phrase I need to ask?
So I repeated the intention. What message does Krishna or any deity that you want to name have for my soul so that I can connect back to my true nature? What message does X, say Krishna, have for my soul right now so that I can connect back to my true self? That is the intention.
Okay.
I'll repeat the intention as I lead you through the process, and then you can get up and I keep drumming in the background. If you don't have anything, get a spoon and a thali. If you still don't have anything, we always have claps. So that. Or you can have a homeopathy pill bottle and keep rattling with that. Or a pill bottle with beans, with rice. That becomes a rattle. So shake that homeopathy pill bottle. So that is another form of using sound. Yeah. Any other question?
NJ has a question. Please repeat once about the pointing towards something. Is it to any direction or object?
So once again, I'll repeat the process. I give the intention. What message does Krishna have for my soul so that I can connect back to my true self right now? What message does Krishna have for my soul that I can reconnect back to my true self right now? What message does Krishna have for my soul right now so that I can connect back to my true nature right now? Once I repeat this intention, I pray to the universe to my body to be open and to be curious. I stand up from my place wherever I am. I play the rattle or any sound that I have. Different mediums have been mentioned. I keep playing with my eyes half open and half closed. Sound close to my ears. And I gently get up and move into the room, different areas. I can go to different rooms. I can go to the room where I am. It's up to you. The universe has already heard your intention. So that's fine. That is why the intention needs to be as solid, as clear, as precise as possible. And then when I rattle, after a few minutes, I will get a nudge, a tuck in my body, in my gut, in my feeling that I should stop now. Wherever I am at that moment, I will stop and raise my hands and point a finger. Wherever that hand goes, allow your body to guide you. Be open, be curious, be childlike. And then open your eyes. Wherever your hand is pointing out to that object, that is your answer. I hope that clarifies it. And then we will come back to our seats. We will sit with our metaphor. I'll take you maybe through a guided meditation to understand the meaning of the metaphor. And 2 people or 3 people, depending on the time, I'll be happy to take up on a demo. Yeah. Any other question?
Suman's asking, is it compulsory to move around or can we sit and do this?
Move around. We need to break the static energy of our field so that the tuning in and the connection happens. We want to break the chatter of the mind, and movement helps with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we check with Yachna and SS if we have
Sure.
a question?
Sure.
Yachna, we've sent you a request to unmute you.
No, I'm done. I already asked. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Please put your hands down. Yes. SS.
Yeah. Whether our hands will go automatically at one direction or how does it go? I mean, it
As
will go
I repeated
automatically.
myself, don't apply logic, don't apply your mind.
Yeah.
At whatever point you pause, and your body will take you to a particular direction. Right now I'm raising it front. Us waqt body,
Yes.
the body will give you a direction. Just trust your body,
Okay.
trust your senses. This is the activity.
Okay,
That's
fine.
exactly what I spoke about. That we are activating our senses We are communicating with the universe. We are allowing the universe to communicate with us. And by being fully present in our body, you will intuitively know. Don't apply logic. यहाँ हाथ करना है. You have to put your hand there, up, down, wherever. Towards the door, towards upwards, towards the light, towards here, towards there. It will come in that moment because you are connected. And that is where this will help to break that shadow of the mind. This is where movement helps. You will feel a tug within. You will pause. You will open your eyes, point your hand in any direction, whichever way it comes in your body. It could be right hand, it could be left hand. It doesn't really matter. So just trust that process.
Yes.
And may I know your name? What does SS mean? Many people have not written your name. What do I know?
Yeah, I was on mute. I spelled my name. It's Satyapriya.
Satyapriya. Thank you. It would be nice to see names instead of Galaxy. It's S20, NJG, Zoom user. It would be nice to see names. It becomes personal. It helps me connect with you. Yes, Jayashree.
Yes, ma'am. Do I have to walk barefoot or can I wear slippers?
No logic, doesn't matter. These are all very logical questions. Any which ways.
And I have to ask a specific question.
I have already stated the question. I have already stated the question and repeated it multiple times.
Okay, that's
For
the
now,
only thing
as a group energy, we are doing that. Later on, you can ask any question. The fundamentals of asking questions, I have already shared what kind of questions you can ask and what kind of questions you cannot ask. So follow those guidelines and you're good. For now, to be in the group energy, just ask that question, what he said. Unless you have a very pertinent problem, that's a different matter. Like Aparna will ask about her lungs. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So shall we begin? It's 7:50. Maximum by 7:57, we all will be back and I will start taking answers or I'll take you through a guided process to connect deeply to your metaphor and then I'll do 1 or 2 demos depending on time. All right? Sure. Yes. Let's begin. I'll keep drumming in the background. So once again, a small prayer to the land, to the spirit of your home, which is talking to us all the time, to the universe that is giving us signs, symbols and synchronicities all the time, to give us very clearly and effortlessly a sign, a metaphor, a guidance about the following question. What message does Krishna or any other deity have for my soul right now so that I can connect back to my true self? Let's go. Repeat this intention in your heart 3 times. Feel its solidity. Feel its strength. Become aware of all your senses. Become aware of your body. And once you feel solid, get up from your space. Make sure you have a rattle or something, sound, spoon, thali, claps, bells, tingshaws, anything. Keep playing. Kindly come back to wherever you are. From wherever you are, come back to your seat. So wherever you are sitting, just thank the spirit of your home, thank the universe for giving you this metaphor, this sign, this symbol. And if you understood it, fantastic. If not, just close your eyes. Just take a few deep breaths. Once again, bring yourself back to your body, fully aware of your senses, fully present in your body, present in your heart space. Allow yourself to remember everything is energy, everything is spirit, everything has a soul, everything is a consciousness. So whatever object, whatever story, whatever visual that you saw. Allow its spirit, allow its energy, allow it to come in front of you. From here on, I will ask you to say, I will always say, connect to the spirit of your object, which means connecting to the soul, the energy of that object. So allow the soul and the energy of that object, the spirit of that object, or that metaphor, or that symbol, to come in front of you. Be present, be aware, be curious. You may see, you may feel, you may hear, you may sense, you may smell, and it is all perfectly fine. All of us have different senses that are active. So pay attention to your most powerful sense. Are you feeling? Are you seeing? Are you hearing? Are you smelling? Or are you seeing? As the spirit of that metaphor, the spirit of that object, the spirit of that symbol comes in front of you, acknowledge it. Thank you for bringing this beautiful message regarding my soul to me today. I see you. I honor you. I acknowledge you. And I am opening my heart to understand and know more about you with regards to the intention for a message for my soul so that I can connect back to my true nature. What are you trying to tell me? Tell me about yourself. Allow the object, the metaphor, the vision, the story, the symbol to begin speaking to you. Once again, be open, be curious. Allow your senses to be engaged and mind to just be a record keeper. Tell me about yourself. What gifts do you bring? What are you trying to tell me or show me with regards to my intention? What is the deeper medicine hidden behind your presence? Why have you made your presence felt to me today? Allow me to know you, to understand the deeper message behind your presence, in your presence, in your occurrence. Tell me about yourself. What gifts and messages do you bring regarding my intention? What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? Pay attention to your first instinct, first thought, first feeling. Be open, be curious like a child. Final question. Is there anything else that you would like to show me or tell me? Why have I chosen you? Why have you chosen me today? Is there a deeper meaning? Once again, be open, be curious. Thank the symbol, the object, and its soul. Allow it to return as you gently return to your own body, to your own self. Slowly open your eyes when you feel ready. You may write your experiences, journal them, journal the messages which the object or the metaphor or the sign or the symbol is trying to show you and tell you. And have some water if you feel necessary. I will now take one demo, and do not leave, wait till the end of the call. We have a lot of exciting things to share, and then the remaining demos if time permits. If you have not understood your metaphor, if you have understood your metaphor, fine. Please come as a demo only if you have not understood the metaphor. Amrish, you can pick one and let me know.
We'll go with Nancy.
Sure. Yes, Nancy, I'll need you to come on video if possible.
Okay, thank you. That was wonderful. I initially, when my head was thinking, I heard get lost 3 times, get lost. And then when I started dancing and rattling my rattle, I heard the words. Well, I started singing along with your musical beat. I said, what is the message my soul should get to understand my body? I kept repeating a mantra like that. And then when I was quiet, I got the words, be still and know that I am God. And then when I rested more, then I got the messages, ask more questions, listen more. And that was like a perfect message for me. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So you understood your metaphor perfectly. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Ask. We never ask. And such a beautiful message, Nancy. I'm thrilled. We mostly, all of us, block our receiving because we've forgotten to ask. Over a period of time, we've been shushed. Don't ask too many things. Just listen. And we've forgotten to ask for help, for love, for support. I was mentioning in my call yesterday, so for those of you who haven't listened to it yet, please go and listen. I was mentioning, my power animals often tell me, you don't ask enough, you don't ask us often, you don't use us. So the universe is there waiting to help us, but we don't ask. So what a brilliant message, Nancy. So anybody who has not understood their metaphor, I would love for them to come on the demo. Amrish?
Yeah, we're sending a request to Sunita.
Sure.
Hi, Sunita.
Is it Sunita Kinga?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes, Sunita. That's you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a pot with the snake plant and I didn't understand.
You saw a pot with?
Snake plants.
Snake plant. Alright. And when you connected to the metaphor, to the pot with the snake plant, what did it say?
I didn't hear anything.
What did you feel?
I was surprised, like, what is this?
No, I'm not saying with the metaphor. When I took you all through the guided meditation to connect to the spirit of your object and ask certain questions, what replies did you receive? What did you feel was the reply? What did you hear was the reply? What did you see was the message? So anything came up during the guided process?
No.
Okay. So can you come on video if possible?
Yes.
All
Right.
right. So I'm going to ask you certain leading questions. Sunita, I want you to close your eyes, not use your mind, and tell me the first thought that comes to you. What does a pot with a snake plant mean to you?
Beauty.
What kind of beauty is beauty?
Trees. Nature.
Okay. What kind of nature is nature?
Openness.
What kind of openness is openness?
Freedom.
What kind of freedom is freedom? Brilliant. You're on the right track.
Say that again.
What kind of freedom is freedom for you?
I am not sure.
Just tap into your heart, ask your body, what kind of freedom do I seek right now? First thoughts, don't think.
Freedom from asking.
Freedom from asking or freedom of asking?
Freedom of asking.
Freedom of asking. What would you like to ask?
What would I like to ask? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, stay with your body, stay with your heart. Your mind is coming in between. Your body knows the answer. Your soul knows the answer. It's speaking to you right now. What kind of freedom would I like to experience in terms of asking right now? Am I afraid to ask?
Am I afraid? I think so. I'm afraid to ask. Or freedom to live the way I want. This is some block I feel. Feel a block in my neck, a throat chakra.
Sunita, Neelam's internet is dropped off. She's trying to get back on the call.
Okay. Thank you, Amrish, for getting me on.
Thank you. Thanks, Sunita. Hi everyone, we're really sorry about this. Neelam's internet connections dropped off. We are trying to get her back on. Just give us a couple of minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, really sorry, we're still trying. Just give me one moment, please. I will get you an update.
Okay.
She's trying to get through on her phone. Unfortunately, that's also giving her a little bit of trouble, but she's saying we should be able to fix it in a minute or two. Thank you so much for waiting. We will get her back on any moment now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions about the workshop? Does anybody want to know about her workshop, her program? What is she offering today? If yes, we can go through that until
Yes.
Neelam gets back on the call.
Yes, we can do that.
Should we? Okay, awesome, great. Just give me a moment. I will share my screen and we can go through that quickly. Thank you, Sunita. Okay, here we are. Learn Shamanism and Shamanic Divination with Neelam Nanwani. So what Neelam's got are two options. One is the Foundation of Shamanic Practices workshop, where you can learn shamanic practices to heal yourself and others. And then there's another option where you can learn divination with shamanism, which is a smaller workshop. It's a 4-hour live group workshop, which is package B. Package B is part of package A. So if you're signing up for package A, you don't have to sign up separately for package B. It's all included in package A. There it is, package A, the Foundation of Shamanic Practices workshop. It is a 2.5 hours of live training workshop where you can become a practitioner to heal yourself and others. There is going to be 7 days of pre-workshop work. So before the workshop, there would be videos and audios that would be shared with you on a WhatsApp group for 7 days. You can go through them. If you have any questions, things that you haven't understood, things that you need more clarification on, you want to practice, you can always bring your questions into the live training workshop. So that's going to happen for 7 days before the workshop. And then after the workshop ends, the 2.5 days end, you have another 14 days of practice and initiations and things like those. PDF notes would be shared of the teachings, and recordings would be available for 3 weeks after the workshop gets over. This is what the course contents are: introduction to shamanic methods and practices, journeys with at least 7 journeys into the lower realms, how to work with power animals, how to retrieve spiritual powers, some practical applications. Remember, this is a 2.5 day live workshop, understanding the upper realm and the upper world with some journeys. Meet your personal spirit helpers and teachers, how to work with nature and elementals, get answers to your questions for yourself and for others. You are also going to learn divination with shamanic practices and learn your power song and or your power object. And then you would also learn the ethics of being a shamanic practitioner. The bonuses include 7 days of pre-workshop training on WhatsApp group, 14 days of post-workshop initiations, lifelong support, revision and practice on WhatsApp. This is an ongoing thing. You will have at least 12, but this is typically an ongoing thing. So it's more like a lifelong practice and revision for you on the WhatsApp group. You obviously have notes. You will get support with your clients and family members. So once you become a practitioner and you need help, any kind of help with your clients or for your family, you can come in and seek help from Neelam herself. And you can learn divination with shamanism, which is the package B. The dates for the workshop are on 16th September. So half a day on 16th September and 2 full days on 17th and 18th September. The timings are mentioned on your screen. But before 16th of September, you have 7 days of pre-workshop work. And after the 18th of September, you will have 14 days of shamanic initiations. Once the workshop gets over, that will also be on the WhatsApp group. The total fee normally for this workshop is 76,000 rupees and US dollars 1,109. However, you have a 74% off for the next 24 hours only. That's until tomorrow, end of day tomorrow, India time, 12 midnight. The special price is 19,999 rupees. We will be sharing the payment links on the Telegram group. once this presentation is over. So that's 19,999 rupees and 292 US dollars. That's for the foundation practices workshop for healing self and others. And then there is the second option, which is a 4-hour experiential workshop of divination with shamanism. You will learn divination using stones from nature. However, you can use just about any object in and around you, in your house or outside, things like cloud, smoke, or anything that you may have at home. You would learn how to get answers to your questions by looking at these objects, understanding these objects. Obviously, you will get to know about all of this, how to do this in the workshop, in the 4-hour workshop. There is going to be support for your clients in your family, and there will be some practice sessions along with the 4-hour workshop. The date for this particular workshop is 11th of September. So it's actually before the main shamanic practices foundation workshop that you would do. This is on the 11th of September, 4 to 8 p.m. India time, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. ET. And you will also have recordings for this for 21 days. The regular price for this workshop is 14,000 Indian rupees and 205 US dollars. Special price is 6,999 Indian rupees, 103 US dollars. It's 50% off for the next 24 hours only. The links will be shared on the Telegram group, and they will also be in your email, in the call replay email. Here are the 2 packages. Shamanic Practices Workshop, 2.5 days live, plus 7 days of pre-workshop and 14 days of post-workshop work on WhatsApp. It includes the Divination with Shamanism program of 4 hours. The special price is 19,999 or US dollars 292. And the Divination with Shamanism program is for 6,999 and US dollars 103. The divination program begins before the main package A. So you could sign up for package B and see how that goes for you. And if you want to sign up for package A later, you can always do that. So you can always upgrade. There will be the upgrade price, which will be shared with you as well. These are the 2 workshops that we would do with Neelam. Thanks for your time. Thank you for staying here. We're going to check if Neelam's back here. And hopefully she is. And oh yes, there she is. She's waving at us. Hi, Neelam. We would send you a request to unmute yourself. Yes. And we would.
Yeah, I have been on for the last 7 to 8 minutes. I've been unmute me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Because I was on that screen, I couldn't see what was happening here.
No problem.
Okay. So thank you so much for coming back on the call. Sunita's here as well. Should we continue talking to Sunita?
Sure.
Hi, Sunita.
Sure.
Hi, yeah.
Thanks, Sunita. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, Sunita.
Yeah, where were we?
Yeah, the freedom. What kind of freedom is freedom? And I'm so sorry we broke the link and we didn't have the freedom to communicate and continue. So freedom certainly seems to be your issue. What kind of freedom? And you mentioned freedom of asking. So what kind of asking is asking for you?
Yeah, I was like saying I feel a block is there in me somewhere, like I'm
Which
not
part
able to
of the
open
body
up.
do you feel the block? Where do you feel the block?
Obviously it's the throat chakra.
So let me ask you a question if you allow me. Are you fearful about communicating and speaking your truth? Do you fear being misunderstood?
I do.
And is that why you hold back your expression?
True.
So would it be safe to say that in order for you to connect back to your soul, what you need to bring back is your freedom of expression?
Yes.
And that's what the message was for you. So thank you for allowing the digging process.
And another thing I understood, like when I was looking at the plant, I said I am going in different directions. So I should be more stable.
So do you have a wavering mind?
Sometimes.
What do you need to focus on? What kind of focus is focus?
Something to do what I've decided to do and stick to that.
Stick to that. And what stops you from doing that?
It's just the talk, outside talk.
So again, coming back to freedom of expression and voice.
Right.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank the snake plant for giving you such a beautiful message about your soul. And in order to connect back to who you really are is to bring back the freedom of expression. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you
this
for
is
allowing.
awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
we can take a few more since we have a little time. Thank you so much, Sunita. Amrish, you
Thank
can
you.
put me on to another person. We can take one more safely.
Hi, Neelam. I'm Yachna here.
Hi, Yachna.
Okay, I'll come on the video. Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So I have to tell you, I have to share this. So just before that, in the afternoon, because I couldn't watch the entire session yesterday. So from the recording only, I did not actually from the recording. I just had a drumming music in one of the apps and just like trying to connect with this thing. So what I experienced in the afternoon was like it was a seaside. I saw a tribal girl basically. A tribal, typical tribal,
This
like
was
African
yesterday?
tribal.
This was
Sorry?
yesterday. This
No,
was
no,
from
today
yesterday.
afternoon. Today
Acha,
afternoon. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just put on the drumming music on some app and then I did. So it was a tribal girl, typical tribal girl, very, tall. And I was so appreciative of her legs throughout. You have so nice legs and, long legs. And she was carrying a small child in her arms. That was it. And it was a seaside, I for very well, and a very green area. So this was in the afternoon, nothing else. So just now when I connected, first of all, I posted a picture in the Telegram, which is there, which I have in my, painting. It's a painting of a tribal girl only. So that was the first stop where I stopped. And somehow I don't know, I thought ki nahi aise ye kaise. Then I continued walking around, and then second time when I stopped was that the drumming thing. I had another wall piece where the drumming, the musicians are there. Okay, so these two. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah. Okay, so these two things came up in my this thing. Then when I connected, it was very instant. Suddenly another girl, tribal girl, came who was a teenager, and she was very worried. She was asking me, come, like she wanted me to take somewhere. Somewhere. It was the same seaside only, which I saw in the afternoon. And she was taking me somewhere. She was worried. Come. And as I was going towards her, so I could see a very, very temporary shelters on tents kind of. And she pointed out to a tent. She says, she's sick. And as I was going towards that tent, it was so visual. It was so vivid. I was going towards the tent. I felt very, that feeling of very deep pain. I literally almost started crying. And when I went there, I saw that girl, which I saw in the afternoon, lying on a cot in that tent. And she was sick. This is what I perceived. And that girl said, heal her. So I was crying all this time. I was like, feeling very sad for her. I was very, felt very much connected to that tribal woman who was lying on the cot. And I healed her. I just did like this, like just some kind of a Reiki kind of a thing. 3-4 times I did. And I was crying throughout this, that whatever I was feeling.
What does a tribal woman, I'll have to cut you short because others are waiting. What does a tribal woman represent for you?
I think the very original people, very close to, the most basic, I would say, who appreciate.
And that's the essence of shamanism. You go back to basics, you go back to your tribal indigenous self. So what would be the message in your opinion from your Krishna or whomever you asked about your soul connection right now?
Yeah, just, because I'm a PLR therapist also, and I do a little bit of Reiki also. So I did, and that girl got up. She was okay. And I embraced her so tightly. I was so happy for her. And I wanted to tell her, I want to heal you, and all that. And incidentally, these days, it is going on in my mind, what should I do so that it reaches to many people around. So a message exactly what it is. I think I should do this like
logical. What do you feel?
I should, मुझे करते रहना. I should do this only. Like I should not have any doubts about
it. What does those musicians represent for you on the wall?
Getting back that joys in the life back, or maybe, singing, dancing, of course.
The tribal people used
drumming, of course, yes. So that's what I'm telling you. Both times, even though I was very, I'm starting it again, having a doubt from the first picture, but both were so related. Both of them were so related. Even if I started doing the second.
If this was my metaphor, it is asking me to go back to my roots and remember the ancient wisdom that I have. And you are in the right place, I must say, for that. So
right,
thank you.
Right.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this meditation. Yeah.
Thank you. We can take one more, Amrish, safely, or is it time?
Yeah, we could get one more person.
Yeah,
Why
we
not?
can take one more. Yeah.
I think that's Nivedita, NJG. Is that correct, Nivedita? We sent you a request to unmute yourself. Hi.
Ma'am, hello.
I can't hear you.
Hello. Hello.
There's a lot of lag in your voice.
Can you hear me, ma'am? Good evening, ma'am.
Little bit.
Nivedita, do you want to turn off your video? So we might be able to hear you a little better. The network seems to be a little weak.
Okay.
Do you want to switch off your video?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's try now.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I saw
voice is breaking a lot.
My hand pointed towards my bedroom.
Hello.
Ma'am, hello.
Nivedita, your network seems to be a little off. There's a lag and a break in your voice.
It's raining heavily over here.
Okay.
Hello.
You can put your situation and I'll try to respond on the Telegram group. I'll try.
Nivedita, okay, please put down your question on the Telegram group and Neelam will respond to you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else? One more. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you can come closer to the microphone.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I just want to know, like when I was going through the whole picture, I came in front of the photo of the Lord and I had a feeling that he says, just trust me and I'll protect you. And that's the message I got.
Which Lord was it?
Balaji.
What does Balaji represent for you?
He's everything. He represents Krishna. He represents Ishvara. He represents everything for me.
What does Ishvara mean to you?
A lot of everything. I think all gods are one. Or I think every god is one and the same. I mean, he destroys the evil, and Vishnu, he sustains. So for me, and Shiva destroys all evil, and Krishna is nothing.
Let's stick to Balaji. Let's stick to Ishvara. What kind of
Krishna,
Ishvara is Ishvara?
And I also see him as Krishna. So I just had a feeling that they said, trust me and I'll protect you. That's it.
Perfect. Then if you trust your message, so be it. And how does
it
help you connect back to your soul?
Yeah.
How does it help you connect back to your soul? And what does that mean to you in terms of the intention? Because we need to go back to the intention.
Yeah, I think it says, maybe it says, I don't know, you just have faith in me, have faith in the universe. That's it.
What kind of faith is faith?
Something that is unshakable.
What kind of unshakable is unshakable?
That is, even if somebody says no, you have to be, you'll have to stick to your ground and say it is yes. Nothing can deter you.
And what does that mean to you? What does saying yes mean to you?
Don't move from your path, just carry on what you do.
And what kind of path is path?
A path is a road where you want to go. That is
And
destination.
what is that road for you?
Maybe spirituality, yes.
Just tap into the body, ask Krishna, ask Balaji. No maybes, no logic, no thinking. Just close your eyes, tap into your body, tap into your senses, allow the soul to speak to you. Ask Balaji, what kind of path is path? What kind of road is road?
For me, it is spirituality. You serve, you work on that road, you work
What
towards
kind of service
spirituality.
is service? Thank you. What kind of
That
service
is
is service?
that is when it's unconditional love and when it benefits something without expecting anything from them.
What kind of unconditional love is unconditional love for you? And where do you need to display it?
Maybe service to the Lord, service to humanity. That's it.
Again, coming back to it, what kind of service is service?
Anything where you don't expect anything which is directed to me by the universe. And what benefits anybody for their good, for the highest self.
And what stops you from being there and doing that?
Nothing stops me. I'm just going on.
Awesome. Perfect.
Can I just have one answer, please? When I was in the process, I was just yawning. I don't know why. Why? I just wanted to know why does
maybe
that
some
take?
release. Maybe it is deep process of relaxation or some release. Are you a person who tries to control too much?
Sometimes maybe, but I just let go what comes. That's it.
Perfect. Maybe if this was my metaphor, maybe the universe is asking me to deeply trust and surrender to walk the path and not control, not question. You yourself said, not say no when I have to say yes. So stay my ground. So where do I not stay the ground will be which is when I don't stay my ground, this is the time when I'm probably moving away from my true nature and from my soul. So the universe through this exercise, probably if this was my metaphor, is showing me to stick to my ground, to trust in myself, to trust in the universe, and to surrender to the process, to keep walking the path of unconditional love.
Okay, so when you start yawning, it means you're just letting go of something. Is it that?
Yeah, it is a let go, it is a release, it is a process of relaxation.
Okay. Because I saw kangaroo as my spirit animal yesterday, and that's the reason it says you move ahead. Probably that.
Yeah, kangaroo is also a leap of faith, isn't it? Taking a leap forward. It's tall. It's a very long neck, you know. Kangaroo is a very long neck. So keep connecting to the kangaroo, keep connecting to this metaphor. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
All right. So let's close. It's 8:45, and you can put your questions on the Telegram group. Amrish, I believe, has ran you through the offers. We will talk in much detail. Unfortunately, my internet connection was disconnected. It took me 10-15 minutes to come back. So sorry about that. We'll keep connecting more with more processes tomorrow with more details on the path. And just to summarize, whatever we've discussed, we go in much detail in the Fundamentals of Shamanism workshop. We spoke about how the shamans used to journey to the alternative realities. So there are processes which are taught, which take you there for helping you understand what is your power, who are your animal guides, how to work with them. We go in much detail about retrieving our power, reconnecting with ourselves, traveling to those higher realms for learning, for wisdom, for healing, for seeking answers, for connecting to our soul, so that ultimately we remember who we truly are. So this is in a nutshell the 2 days Fundamentals of Shamanism workshop, Foundation of Shamanic workshop for you. It is on 16th, 17th, and 18th. We have teachings 1 week before to prep you, to gear you up, and 14 days after the live teachings to continue deepening into your initiations and awaken your senses, your psychic abilities, and keep reaping the benefits. We have a shorter workshop of 4 hours, which dives into another process called shamanic divination and how to tap into messages using stone from nature. So you can opt for either one of them or upgrade to the latter after doing the first one. So these are the packages in a nutshell, and see you all tomorrow. I'd like to end with a small prayer. It's a Lakota prayer. To all my relations, I honor you in the circle of life with me today. I'm grateful for this opportunity to acknowledge you you in this prayer. I'm grateful to the Creator for this ultimate. I thank you. To the built and maintained my bones and all foundations of life experiences, I thank you. To the plant nation that sustains my organs and body and gives me healing herbs for sickness, I thank you. To the animal nation that feeds me from your own flesh and offers your loyal companionship in this walk of life, I thank you. To the human nation that shares my path as a soul upon the wheel of earthly life, I thank you. To the spirit nation that guides me invisibly through the ups and downs of life and for carrying the torch of light through the ages, I thank you. To the four winds of change and growth, I thank you. You are all my relations, my relatives, without which I cannot live. So to all of you who joined, I thank each one of you in this web of life. To all our guides and power animals, to the sacredness of all the directions, to the spirit of technology which played a trickster today, still I acknowledge you and I thank you. And to all the directions, to the medicine wheel, to all the elements, to all our guides and power animals, to mind, body, and spirit, and each one of you who is present, I see you, I honor you, acknowledge you, and I thank you. Oh, see you all tomorrow again, 6:30. Hopefully my internet will be better and we all shall share deeper truths, more fun, more joy tomorrow, same time at 6:30 p.m. IST. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Neelam. Thank you, everybody.